missed you off. Well, I was off on a bit of adventure of my own last week at Genghis-Khan. I hope you guys took some time to enjoy that bit of a side quest that I threw at you all, and had a side quest of your own off in YouTube land. It was kind of fun hanging out with different people over at the convention, but I did miss hanging out with all of you here in the Twitch stream, telling stories and having adventures. So I'm very excited to get to do that again here tonight. And maybe if we have some time, we can talk a little bit about how the convention went, because it was my first convention and that was very exciting, of course. And maybe if there's some time as well, you can tell me about how your side quests all went hanging out over there in YouTube land. As always, if you enjoy this stream tonight, I hope you will hang out over in the various interweb verses with us, including Instagram if you like art, or YouTube if you enjoy all of our different stories, and of course come hang out here with us and follow along with our Twitch stream. We're here every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central, hopefully on the dot, internet and dice gods willing. Alright, and we tell stories and we have some art time together. This week is World Hearing Day, and in honor of that, we'll be meeting a very special NPC as we tell a story here together tonight. World Hearing Day is not just for those of us who have hearing challenges, but it is a day to be aware of good hearing health, because hearing health is not just for anyone who might have hearing difficulties or who might have perfect 100% hearing, but it's good for everyone to practice. After all, it's just as important for those who have perfect hearing to have perfect hearing health as it is for those of us who might not have the best hearing in the world to practice good hearing health. And sometimes it's even more important for us to practice good hearing health. Just like the rest of our wonderful vessels and bodies, it's good to take good care of them, and ears are no different. So tonight we are going to be looking at an NPC who perhaps does not have the best hearing in the world as we celebrate World Hearing Day. And remember, take good care of your ears. Please, you only get one good set. Alright, so tonight we are heading back into the region of Neverwinter. So, as we all know, the region of Neverwinter is held in a bit of a delicate balance. As a region with a very rich history, both the mysterious and the arcane seem to find their way to Neverwinter's doors eventually. And Neverwinter Wood is no less dangerous or mysterious. And while traveling through the region of Neverwinter, an unexpected letter arrives begging for your help. So tonight, as you all head into Neverwinter Wood, I am going to need your help in telling this story. A little bit of decision making is needed as we figure out, where do we go next? Who should we talk to first? And how exactly are we going to interact with an NPC who is perhaps not the most communicative soul in the entire world? How will you overcome these challenges? And thus, the tale to be told begins thus. Now, you have all just received a letter from the guardian of Neverwinter Wood. She is begging you for help in retrieving the rune of Ashter, which has recently gone missing. Upon reading the missive, you head to a designated meeting place, a multitude of thoughts swirling through your head. Not least among them, who is this guardian of the forest? Arriving at the clearing, you see the aforementioned tree stump, but no guardian. Looking around, you see you are not the only adventurer waiting to meet the guardian, and you feel a bit confused. Now, you can choose and tell me in the chat yourselves how you received your missive from the guardian, but out of a bit of curiosity, I'm going to roll a d6 tonight and see on my lucky table how we might have received that missive today. Or, once again, throw it in the chat. How do you think you received your letter from the guardian? Okay, my dice says that you all received your missive from a messenger hawk that flew down and delivered the letter to you from the guardian of the forest. If you think you received it from a different way, throw it in the chat and let me know. How do you think you received your letter? Remember, tonight we might have to be a little bit contributive to our storytelling. Neverwinter Wood is filled with entangled pine branches, prickly shrubs, and dense undergrowth. Deeper within the woods, a blight spreads sickly vines and strange fungi across the local foliage. This area of the wood seems completely free of the blight plaguing Neverwinter. As you enter the clearing, you see the wise stump marked by a rune and several other adventurers around it. You begin to trade your stories when a forest wolf leaps onto the wise stump before you. An odd cloaked figure follows slowly behind, but doesn't initially speak. Now, I don't know about you, what you might do next, but seeing a wolf leap onto a stump would probably startle me. Throw into the chat what you think you might do next. The figure doesn't speak, but you do notice that the wolf has something tied about its neck. Would you be brave enough to go up to the wolf and see what might be there? Or would you try to speak to the hooded figure first? You tell me, what do you think would you do first? Go to the wolf? Okay. So inside, next to the wolf's collar, you see a letter. And written there in the same script as the previous missive, you see some more information about your quest. Now, the rune of Ashter is indeed missing, and a local temple has been destroyed. If you can help find it, the guardian of the forest will grant you a wish. What you know from rumors about the local region is that the rune of Ashter is supposed to be a very powerful magical object. It's never to be touched or handled by common hands, and supposedly it has very powerful properties, but no one has ever seen it or knows for sure what it looks like. Once you have taken the scroll from the wolf, he backs up and stands next to the hooded figure. The figure still hasn't spoken to you and doesn't appear to be ready to interact. Do you decide to try to speak to him? And what do you decide to do next? The scroll does have a small map along the back, but you may need some help being guided to the temple. It's very possible you could do this all on your own. If you decide to look around the clearing a little bit more, the wolf will guide you. And checking out the wolf some more, he nudges you towards a buried bag that contains some healing potions and an herbalism kit. And sensing that you are friendly, he leads you towards a forest path. And following the wolf out of the woods and down through the forest, it remains clear of dangers or blight. You find this odd, but decide to trust him, as he continues to glance back occasionally to check that everyone is following before continuing to forge that path through the woods. A half day of hiking brings you to a ruined stone temple. You do notice that the silent figure continues to follow as well, but he hasn't spoken yet. The towering spires reach up towards the sky, and the carved gates are sealed against intruders. It is a majestic sight despite the disrepair and overgrown plant life that covers the entrance. As you approach, the scent of twisted magics come to you on the breeze. Something very dark seems to have happened here. If you choose to investigate the doors, you might notice that a carved rune, similar to the one on the stump, is set next to the front entrance. You aren't quite sure how to get inside, but the wolf waits patiently while you investigate. Do you continue to look around the doors? Are you going to talk to the hooded figure? He hasn't shown any animosity towards you, but he also hasn't spoken either. In fact, you might notice that him and the wolf seem to have an almost symbiotic relationship, as if they're trying to communicate with each other. If you decide to continue working on the doors, you might notice that anyone with an arcane ability will be able to touch the runes and have it glow whenever they're approaching it. The wolf will always remain calm whenever you're nearby. Once you get the doors open, you're able to easily go inside. But the smell of fetid plant life nearly overwhelms everyone upon entering the ruined temple. The once Doric columns lie broken as dust motes dance in spirals to the floor. Unusual plant life has overtaken the chamber, obscuring the decorative mosaics on the floor. A series of carvings sit on pedestals in the western alcove. As you step further into the hall, the smell of rotting flora increases. You hold your nose and notice it twittering among the shrubbery. Before you can really react, several blighted plants reach out and try to grab you. They hold on tight, and they try to strangle anyone who moves away from them. Luckily, the hooded figure has entered with you. He still doesn't speak, but he draws a bow from beneath his cloak and aims at the plants. Moving nimbly, he's able to free several of you, and you are able to fight as well against these strange blighted shrubs. You've noticed the twittering has grown louder, and you notice these strange little toads have come out to try to attack anyone who's coming too close or too near. They seem to be almost as if they're trying to protect something. You don't know quite what just yet, but they're definitely going to get closer and closer the more you move into the hall. The wolf hasn't entered the temple. He's decided to wait outside, which seems strange to you, but perhaps he knows something you do not. Luckily, that hooded figure is more than willing to help be your defender. As you move further into the hall, you notice that the sunlight barely reaches here. And certainly, the blight that used to be out in Neverwinter Wood is more prevalent inside. Strange noises dog your footsteps, and now a haunting melody plays on panpipes floating out of the darkness. Eventually, you come to an empty area illuminated by torchlights. In the center hovers an opaque black gemstone held captive by strange invisible magics. The gem is alluring as it reflects the light, but the melody is louder and louder off in the darkness. Disturbed, you think to leave this area quickly, and yet you almost want to stay. If you were to look around, you might notice that the hooded figure doesn't seem to react to the musics. In fact, he's almost enthralled by the gemstone, almost in awe of it. What would you decide to do first? Check out the music, or look more closely at the gemstone? After all, perhaps this is the rune of Ashtar that you've been told to check out and examine more closely. Perhaps even this is what you were meant to go find. Or perhaps there's something about that music that's been the danger this whole time. Where would you go first? Well, if you go to check out the music, you might discover a very dangerous archfey, a man named Trisis, someone who has been very invested in getting a hold of the rune of Ashtar, perhaps even someone who has been supposedly causing this blight in Neverwinter Wood. But luckily for you, you have someone on your side who is very much protected against his strange magics and musics, because sometimes having no ears at all can be quite the benefit. You can't be charmed by that darkness if you can't hear it. And although you have to be very clever to try to avoid that enchanting song, you do in the end defeat Trisis and stop the strange magics that shoot out of the darkness like shadows and try to haunt you. But you're still not sure how to touch the rune of Ashtar. Every time you approach it, something strange and different happens. If you try to touch the rune of Ashtar, black rays shoot out and try to attack you. If you move too close to it, strange shadows come out of the dark and try to grab you. How can you defeat something that tries to fight its very essence? After all, isn't the rune supposed to be protective, not harmful? In the end, one of your number very cleverly uses the natural sunlight around you to try to ward off the shadows. It may almost be nightfall, but sunset is coming, and you can use the sun to help protect the rune of Ashtar and drive off those shadows. After addressing the curses placed on this area, the rune of Ashtar is carefully recovered and taken away from Trisis. And just like this, every torch placed on that area goes out. You hear a mournful howl. Perhaps that wolf realizes that you have safely recovered that which you are seeking. But otherwise, everything is silence. Following the sad cries of the wolf, you come across that hooded figure, standing protectively over a prone form. It is indeed the guardian of the forest. She was gravely injured while trying to protect the rune of Ashtar. Will you be able to save her? Do you know what to do next? You may have been given items that could help save her life, but only if you remember what to do next. If you are clever and you remember what you were given not too long ago, you may be able to offer her some remedies in your emeralism kit or your healing potions. And luckily, Kaylee, guardian of the forest, will survive. And perhaps, if she regains her strength, she'll be able to take back the temple from the blight, especially now that she has the rune of Ashtar to help her. After all, anything is possible with a little bit of magic and a little bit of luck. Okay. So our story is just about finished, and it is almost time to do some painting together. Thank you for helping me with my storytelling. We're going to do a very short intermission, and then we'll come back and do some watercolors together. If you all have thought of any questions that you'd like to ask, either about the story we've told tonight, or about watercolors, or about anything else that we like to do here at Tales Adventure, I hope you'll throw it into the chat. And of course, there is always the suggestion jar. Until then, I will see you in like 2 minutes after intermission. Alrighty, friends, thank you for your storytelling, and I will see you very shortly. You guys, welcome back. I'm gonna get some music on here really quickly. Hopefully that music will play. Okay, it looks like it's on and happy. Okay, so how is everybody doing tonight? Hopefully that music isn't too loud. I'm kind of notorious for playing it too loudly, so if it is too loud, just let me know and I will fix that. Okay. So hopefully we'll be able to finish this painting up tonight. But I always like to start off by showing the one that we finished from 2 weeks ago. I almost said last week because last week was Genghis Khan. That would not be true. So this is from 2 weeks ago when we were in West Verdestia for one of my favorite characters. Sadly, when I went in to do the flowers with our paintbrush fun technique, it kind of didn't dry as brightly as I wanted to, so I haven't decided if I'm going to go back in and change anything or if I kind of just like it like this. Maybe you guys can help me decide about that one, because I do kind of like it like this, or I might just leave it. Kind of having thoughts. Still kind of having thoughts about that. But that's that one. So yes, and then we're going to continue on with this one tonight and polish all of that up. Very quickly, I'm going to pull up my, I've been calling them stock photos. I know that's not correct. Research photo is probably closer. I sometimes pull up an image from nature or something like that that helps me sort of get an idea of what I want to paint, because obviously I am not traveling all over the world looking at nature. That would be very cool, maybe someday. But for now, then I'll just sort of have something to look at and kind of be like, yes, this is what I wanted this area of the woods to look like, or etc. And then we kind of have something to go off of. Perhaps someday I will have my own collection of, I'm gonna call my brushes. Sorry, that was very random. My own collection of well-traveled photographs, but not yet. Someday. Just not right now. I'm gonna try something a little different tonight though. Normally, I kind of paint in the trees and then I go back and do the leaves. But then I always end up with this like weird blobby area, which is not what I want. I do feel like that is too loud. Actually, maybe it's not. I'm good. How are you, Cameron? I feel like I'm doing well. I'm still really tired from Genghis Khan though. Do I look tired? And I'm definitely losing my voice. I'm gonna put in a little bit of Payne's Gray. I was so close to not using Payne's Gray this week, and then I was just like, screw it. Don't actually care. But yes. You can't have a creepy forest without gray, so we're just gonna go for it. And then I might need a little more blue. I haven't decided, but I might as well put it in there just in case. Today felt like it was never gonna end. Why not? Is it that Friday kind of feeling? Because I definitely feel like that on a Friday. Like, can this day just please? Already. I can already tell this sweater was a poor choice. I'm gonna end up with watercolor all over myself. But it's fine. You only live once, right? In theory. Slow at work, but yeah. Okay, that's fair. Let's see. I am gonna do... That brush is too big, I think. Blah! Just throwing my watercolors all over the place. That's like the second time I've done that too. I did it earlier this week. Just like, here, let me toss watercolors all over the floor. It's fine. I think that might be too wet. That's better. Let's see. Before I just end up tossing it a third time, let me put that over there. Okay. Yeah, they are kind of just... Bobbish. I feel like I've been spending so much time in the woods. Maybe you guys can help me decide what biome I should go to next. Like, are you guys sick of seeing the forest yet? Or should I do more foresty things. Because I kind of got hung up on the mountains and the snow there for a while too. But that was because I really wanted to see snow. By the way, there was snow at Genghis Khan. I was very happy about that. Not only was there snow, fresh snow from the night before, but there was very small flurries while we were there as well. Tori will laugh at me because I had never seen snow. And then it like snowed like crazy. Right, Cameron? It like snowed like crazy up in Calgary. She showed me it was like 2 feet of snow on top of her whatchamacallit, patio table. Yeah, it was crazy looking. Supposedly there's gonna be snow like that down in Texas right now, but well, isn't there like a hurricane watch? Not hurricane, tornado watch or something? I don't even know. And then I'm gonna just do California doesn't get weather, so I'm not very good at like tracking. We get rain and then I don't know if like what's it? Firestorms count as weather, but it's like that was crazy. Trade places. I mean, I totally would, but we would literally be waiting like decades for that to happen. I'm not kidding about US immigration taking forever. So those are like my misty trees off in the distance. Just barely see them. You think everything in Canada sucks? Or just everything, the weather sucks? Because I can think of several things that are much better on your side of the pond, as it were. Nope, everything. Oh. Your education system's better than ours. would know. Just kidding. Actually, I should do this side first. Now it's too dry. Whoops. Okay, wet that a little bit more. There we go. I mean, there's probably some things that are this like the same amount of blech, honestly, because no system's perfect. Let's face it. Any system made by human beings is going to have flaws because human beings are flawed, and that's just life. But I don't. Just overall, I do think that Canada has the US beat overall. Although I will say that there are probably some states that have come a little bit closer to being on par with Canada than where I'm at. I'm in California. Not that California sucks or anything like that, but we do have a very high cost of living, and it's harder to, this is going to be a little too bad. And like I don't really have much of a hope of really the kind of job that will let me save up to get a house. Put it that way. Whereas if someday I could get to another state or Canada, it's like Tori's always trying to get me to move up to you guys. I probably could someday. I have to work hard for it because I'm a little behind the times here as a 30-plus-year-old adult. It could be done eventually, but like if I had been born in another state, maybe things would be different, you know? Because like there's certainly states where an adult could potentially save up for a house, just not California. There's a polite way of saying that. And I'm sure there's places in Canada where that's true too, because some places in Canada are more expensive than others. Yeah, see? But overall, the United States, like you're not going to see a millennial saving up for a house. Whereas I think in Canada, the opposite might be true. Overall, hypothetically, a millennial still could, but then it's starting to shift again. If what Tori's saying is true, Canada's just starting to become a bit more like the US, where it's starting to get harder for millennials to save up, which I'm hoping that's not true or permanent, because I'd hate for a country to start adopting the United States mistakes. It would not be, no. Like, learn from our mistakes, do better. That's the point of mistakes, is to do better than that. Let's see here. Need some blue. But every country is going to make mistakes. That's like part of growing up and becoming an adult country. And yeah. And I think every generation's going to feel that way. We're totally on a tangent for anyone who's just logging in. Why are they talking about buying houses? No one knows. We just got on a tangent. I think every generation has that moment where they're like, God, it was so hard to buy my first house. Like, yeah, that's the point. But it shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't be so hard that nobody's even bothering to try. And that's my point. Is like, I'm at the point where I'm like, why would I even bother trying to buy a house? Like, it's pointless. I'll never accomplish that goal. So why am I even trying? And it shouldn't be that hard. Like, that's just too hard. I've lost track of what I was doing. I'm working on this. I think I made those guys a little too dark, but that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna let that brush soak for a second. Never say never. That's fair. That's fair. My music just died too. So while I'm fixing this music here, there we go. That should fix it. Let's pull something from the story jar because I haven't done that yet. And if you guys have any questions, plus I need this to dry before I do any more leaves and stuff, throw a question for me off into the chat as well. And then we'll just kind of see where we're at here. Can you guys tell I had coffee? Oh, I can't do this one. Most memorable moment from the campaign. I should actually probably start taking those kinds of ones out before I pull from the jar. There is no memorable moment from the campaign because it's a one-shot and I never ran it. So, there's no memorable moment. How about we do most memorable moment from Genghis Khan instead? And the music's still dead. Hold on. I really need to like get better tunes or something. There it goes. Okay. So when I went to the convention, pardon my loud jar, I had never once played a game of Dungeons and Dragons in person. That was the first time for that. I've actually left this in the jar too long. I don't want to ruin my bristles. That was my very first time playing in person, and I was horrifyingly nervous. Like, that was insanely terrifying for me. So I haven't been playing D&D lately for reasons that I'll just keep to myself for now. So there's been that, and so I've been very rusty, and I'd never played in person, and I wasn't sure how that was going to go, to be honest, because very much like our NPC that we've talked about tonight, I'm hard of hearing, borderline on deaf. So I do wear hearing aids. I'll take them out so you guys can see. Here, these are my hearing aids. I don't always wear them during our streams. Am I just shy? Well, yes, actually that's true too. I am shy. No. So I wasn't entirely sure how the game was going to go because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to hear everyone in the... I actually put that in incorrectly. That was squealing at me. There we go. Because sometimes... Welcome to the club, yes. There's quite a lot of us. We're all eating cookies in the corner by ourselves. Refusing to talk. So sorry. Deep breath. Okay. Moving on. And what was really nice about when I was playing at the convention was how supportive everybody was. Um, Not that Dungeons and Dragons overall isn't a supportive community. Um, More that I had gotten so used to forcing myself to adapt all by myself that I kind of forgot that I can ask other people to adapt and help me, which is silly. That one's on me. Um, but it was kind of nice to be able to step up and be like, hi guys, there's a deafy at the table. Could you like look at me when you're saying things? I need to lip read. uh, and or be like, whoa, whoa, slow down. Only one person talks, and then just like do it and actually remember to do it without me having to say it multiple times. Um, and then like not make any comments about me being lost or confused or not know what was going on. So that was always just really nice because I'm very used to people just being like, oh, we'll just, read the handouts and follow along. Or, oh, well, you can use a transcriber to know what we're saying, but like, only if it doesn't slow down gameplay for the other players. And it was nice for everyone to just be like, oh yeah, sure, we'll wait for you, it's not a big deal. Or like, oh yeah, how can we like help you communicate more effectively with everyone so that you like know what's going on, and like how can we like collaborate with you. And it was like not a big deal at all to just like be there and be with everybody. So that was really nice. And so that was definitely a memorable moment. And we got through our first game without any panic attacks or social anxiety. So that was a big deal for me, at least, because all the panic attacks we have to socialize. Don't like it. But that's why Dungeons and Dragons is so important for some of us, because it makes us practice socializing, which is really important. You gotta do the things sometimes, guys. We just gotta. That's the reality of the situation, is sometimes you gotta do the thing. Even when you don't wanna, you gotta do it. Like right now, you gotta do the thing. And we're gonna do the thing. We're gonna add just a little bit of color to this thing and see what we can do. And my music totally just died again. Wow. I think I need to get a different music player. This is not working out for me. I don't like it. It's not making me happy. I actually don't like talking into the silence. Cry. I'm just a big baby. That's what it comes down to. I'm a big baby. Okay, let's see if we can darken up some of these leaves just a little bit here. I'm only going to do this side right now, though, because I think I might need to go back a little bit and add in another tree chunk in here. And I don't want to do that until I know for sure exactly where I want all the things to be. So I'm just going to kind of think about where things have kind of fallen, and we're going to go light little layers here. So we can always go darker, but it's hard to fix it and go back out lighter. Darker is good, lighter is hard. Hey Cameron, have you gotten to ride your motorcycle yet? I remember you asking about that and being all excited. Actually, I lied. I am going to add some leaves over here too. It's just that kind of night. But only lightly. Okay. I think I want to darken things just a little bit. A little bit. Make sure it's not too dark though. And we're gonna wash. Wash, wash, wash. In the absence of music, I tend to sing to myself. That's the other reason I like having songs, so that I don't just randomly make a sound. Okay. And I think I need just a little bit of this. Yep, I do. Just a little bit darker. Just like kind of sort of in there. Just a little bit blobby. I want things a little bit blobby. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. And then we're just gonna, so it's kind of ambiguous texture going on in here. There we go. Okay. And I don't like how this kind of came out down here, so I'm gonna try to. What else did I enjoy about my trip? I liked that there was snow. Sorry. But no, really. Mostly that there was snow. I really did just kind of enjoy having people there who were acceptive and supportive of just kind of me. I know that seems so silly, but like when it's not silly. But I've had a lot of anxiety about just playing tabletop games lately, and I've had a hard time like letting go of that anxiety. Sometimes I hold on to anxieties I probably shouldn't, and I sometimes let them kind of like grow into bigger fears than they really are. And so it was just really nice having other people around who could kind of just be like, no, like, it's okay. We all have those fears. Or like, no, it's all good. Like, don't even stress, you know? And yeah, I do think a lot of people do sort of like let things grow bigger than they are. So like, I know I'm not alone in that. But I do sometimes worry that like because of the way that I am the way that I am, that makes, I don't know how to explain it. I'm having trouble with words tonight because I'm still so tired. But you know, because not every person is meant for every body, and that's not always a bad thing. But we should still try to show those people as much kindness as we can. And when we're storytellers, we are also artists. And I think that sometimes that makes it hard to be as kind and accepting as maybe we should be, because artists tend to be very passionate people. That doesn't mean that artists are not also kind and accepting people. Don't get me wrong here, okay? I'm not making any insinuations. It's just that sometimes we are very opinionated. Let's put it that way. And sometimes we forget in our opinions that, you know, there's people in there too. And so we might not be as gentle and kind as we should be. You're not judging. I might be judging myself. Just a little bit. But I think it's good occasionally to judge yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, am I being appropriate right now? And then if you're like, yes, okay, I was being appropriate, you put down the judgment mirror and you walk away. Because otherwise you can be too judgmental to yourself and too harsh. And that's when you go too far. And that's the part I'm working on, is putting the judgment mirror back down. Not good at that part. But yeah. And then, you know, not letting other people hold up the mirror and make you look at it too long either. It's the other one. Telling people to shut up and go away because you need to stop letting them judge you now. Not good at that either. Still working on that one. And that's okay. We all have our things. That one's mine. Because I tend to believe people when they tell me I'm a bad person. It's not true. But yeah. Okay, so fix that corner. That makes me more happy. A little bit better there. But we gotta darken up our mood here a little bit, I think. But I'm gonna use a smaller brush, and I know it's getting a little bit late, so I'm gonna only do like one more layer. I wanna make sure this is dry enough. Yes, I think it is. Okay. And then I'll have to come back in a little bit later and polish some things off. Let's see. Okay. But I think this method of doing this first, then branches is working out for me, because does it not look way less blobby than it did the last time we did Neverwinter Wood? Do you remember how blobby that was? Whew. But we are doing way better this time. Yes, yes, yes. This makes me much happier. So much happier. I think I need a little blue in here. That's too dark. Does that seem too dark? Seems too dark. Maybe I can lighten it a little bit. Do 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 do. The music still isn't working, is it? I can tell because I'm singing the Jeopardy song. Do you guys have Jeopardy in Canada? I always kind of liked Jeopardy. Don't know if I like the new host though. Well, we'll see if the music plays or not. I keep putting my brushes there. That's not where my brushes go. Okay, there we go. I wanted blue. That's what I was doing. Ooh, yes, that's better. Of course, now my brush is way too wet. Okay, let's see. That's a little better. That's a little better. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think that will make nice little splatter leaves here. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. And then we can go in and like really darken things up if we need to. What do we think? Do we like this color? Speak now or forever hold your peace because it's about to dry. I get really weird when I'm tired. Can you guys tell? Oh, thank you. That was almost a little too wet, actually. Da, 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 da. I do think we need to get away from woods next week, though. Things are just getting a little too woodish. It's time for something different. Maybe we should head into the desert. We haven't done a desert yet. That might be fun. What do you think, Cameron? California dreaming? I always do that. The first brush stroke is always way too wet. Blarg. I shouldn't have gotten aquarelle brushes. Someone who knows that they always put too much water on their brushes should not be buying brushes that are known for holding too much water. That's a me one. That one's on me. Durr. Okay. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, I think tomorrow I'm going to go in even darker once I get some of these tree trunks cleaned up a bit. And nice and dark and happy. This is just no creep factor right now. I think we can go creepier. Don't sneeze. That would be the worst. Okay, phew. I did that one time and my brush was just like, I was like, no. Happens though. Totally does. Okay. Let's see. I need that picture again. Actually, I feel like, now that I'm looking at it, I really should have put those trees more over here. I can put multiple trees. That's what's so nice about gray. You can have multiple extra trees. There. Okay. Because I think I actually want to darken that up a little bit. I'll do ish a tree and then we'll call it a night because it's starting to get kind of late. Just kind of start to outline things. You can come back in later. Okie dokie. I'll do one more and then we're gonna be out of here. Just a little bit darker than the others. Just need a nice brown here. I just don't have enough paint on that brush. There we go. That's better. Sometimes it just doesn't wanna. Okay. Okay. So we're starting to get some more branches in there and whatnot. And then we'll add at least one more tree coming up this way. Throw in some dark, but I need things to dry a bit more. I think I might be able to get away with a little more darkness in this brush here though. Let's just see. Like this will look little bit in here. Just down in the... Yeah. And then I might be able to get away with a little bit more dark in here. Start to put a little tiny bit of texture in here so I know where the tree goes. Okie dokie, and we're gonna just pause there for now. How did I get into D&D? Oh, I totally missed your question. I'm going to answer that one later. Because it's kind of a long question. That's all. So that's not a no, that's a no for now. But don't let me forget that I'm going to answer that question for you, Cameron. You can even message me right now if you want. And then I will answer it, I promise. I'm just hungry. I'm getting hungry over here in California. That's all. But we're gonna pause, and then I will finish this up once it's dry and share you guys all the oh. That's funny. Sorry, Cameron. AutoMod tried to delete your message because of how you phrased that. That's funny. Okay. Random laughter. Okay. I'm gonna finish this up tomorrow when it's dry. Then I'll share it to Instagram. So if you guys aren't following along on there, I will hope that you will see. I will see you. Wow, I am tired. Over on Instagram, and otherwise, I will catch you guys all over next week at Tales of Adventure. Maybe in the desert, maybe not. I don't know. Throw it in the suggestion box, and we'll see where we're headed. I haven't quite decided yet, but I'd love to hear some of your thoughts on that. Until then, I hope you guys all have an amazing week, an amazing weekend, and don't forget to feed those inner storytelling mimics. Have some amazing adventures, you guys.